few things, but as I said early on, like the family, nobody tells you in words, right? You observe what your parents are doing, what your grandparents or the extended family is doing, so that if you're sensitive, you will imbibe those values. And I believed that you don't have to preach, okay? You need to kind of, they have to pick up what you are practicing, or rather, you should actually be a role model, because they should realize, okay, there is no substitute to sincere hard work, okay? That's something which is primary. You can be brilliant, but if you don't have those basic things of passion, which is essential, and then dedication, your hard work and sincerity, you will not make it anyway. But so I guess I had really wonderful set of students, and largely for the longest period I had a lab only full of probably girl students, and probably there was one odd boy there, and which only in the last 2 years, in the last few years, I actually got more boys and less of girls. Otherwise, I think they all saw that, if I'm the first to come to the lab and if I'm the last to go to the lab, the message is very clear, okay? And for me, it was, I can take the horse to the water, I can't make it drink, right? So I think somewhere along, they got the support from me, sure, but that was my duty. If I took them as PhD students, it was my moral duty to make sure I guide them, mentor them, and point out when things are not the way they should be. But rest is really up to them. And they're all doing very well. I have the last 2 to finish their PhD now, and only sad thing which I have, a regret that I have is, I can't say it personally, it's a regret for me, but for them it's very good. Except for 5 students of mine, everybody is abroad, and they all are in the industry holding really good positions. Okay, and even the ones who chose to stay back.
In India also we need good scientists.
I know, but
so if you are not in India, then what will happen?
No. So that's no. So I must tell you that when I went as a postdoc to Switzerland, I was in Basel at the Children's Hospital, because that was my beginnings of my first steps in human genetics and human medical genomics. So they offered me a job. I said no, I will not stay in Switzerland. I will go back to the country. So I came back to India without a job. Luckily, 6 months after, I got what was called as a pool officer. CSI used to have these pool officers. I worked as a pool officer, then I worked as a research associate of the university, and luckily for me, genetics department had an opportunity, opening, and I made it to the genetics department, which is really, I felt, the place I had to be. So that's not it. So it's your choice. So now I have students who want to come back, but the respective spouses are not willing to come back. So all the training has largely been, been utilized, or the training has benefited the West more than our country. But I am still hopeful that the ones who are here will have their own breed which is coming up, and they'll contribute.
So ma'am, we have a little surprise for you. I hope you like it. And
what is it?
Some of your students.
Shruti and Sumedha
Oh
here.
my God!
We wanted to let you know that you have always inspired us to do the best of our potential.
And we have been very sharp and committed to our work because of your influence, and which in turn has helped us turn into effective communicators and how to strategically maintain relationship with our peers and make an impact on the lives of the patients.
And I also want to especially thank you for having fostered such an amazing environment in your lab. Like, you have trained up a whole generation or 2 of scientists to have an incredible work ethic and a great sense of commitment to working together as scientists, working collaboratively and working globally. And as a result of this, many of us have ended up in very successful positions. And I'm also very thankful to you for having fostered a great sense of community in your lab of students present and past, which is why, like, Shruti and I are now together at the same company as well. So I wish you all the very best, ma'am, and thank you again for being such an amazing mentor and someone we really look up to. And we wish you all the best. Thank you.
All the best, ma'am. Thank you.
Dr. Thelma is a well-known scientist. But today I would like to talk about her as an educator and a mentor. She held all her students to very high academic standards, and personally, that helped me to learn perseverance and resilience in a professional space. She emphasized on getting the basics right, getting a strong foundation of concepts, and that helped me a lot. One of my current jobs programs, and I find myself emphasizing pretty much the same things to my students as well.
Hello everybody.
You really kept this as a secret. Oh my God, this is too much.
I'm very fortunate. I feel I'm very fortunate that I got an opportunity to get to know her since my master's time as teacher, and then subsequently as mentor and supervisor during my PhD time. It's been more than 1.5 decades that I know her. Till now, I get many valuable inputs, suggestions, even sometimes you can say handheld guidance from her. She's been very fantastic teacher and supervisor for all of us. She's one of those scientists or academician who believes in preaching what she practice. She firmly believes in importance of communication in science and management skill while doing science. We all know that she pushes her students for scientific communication in a language that understood by all. I don't remember any time where she used to impose her ideas on students. Basically, while doing PhD, we used to nurture our own interest, own ideas, when she used to support us wholeheartedly. I don't remember any time where we were left alone. No matter how busy she was during that time, she always gets very, very dedicated time for her students, starting from study design, result interpretation, experimentation, writing manuscript, communication. Time for her students. She used to guide us from scratch till the publication comes online. So that's the kind of dedication basically. Ethics also is very important to stick to the ethical guidelines.
That is important.
So she used to teach her PhD students how to follow those guidelines very strictly. Management of samples, she used to tell us that look, every samples are important.
So her support and guidance actually have helped me a lot during my research time, and I'll be always indebted to her. And among many students of her, currently I had the privilege to be her student during my MSc course in genetics in 2014 to 16. And the way that she has taught me the human genetics and other students, those concepts, basic concepts, are still etched in my mind. And the way that she interacts with the students, as you know, she's an excellent teacher and asks students all the questions and try to get the answers from them. The way that she teaches, it's totally different and a very unique way, and we learn a lot of that today also, and it's currently being practiced in my research too. So not only in teaching, but she's also a great mentor, a supervisor, and which actually has helped me, and she has actually helped me a lot for my research work. And basically I was a student, PhD student, and she actually has given me the confidence to work on stem cells and CRISPR-Cas9, and also how to write papers, review manuscripts, even write letters, participate in various conferences, present our work, presentations, how to put all the slides in places, and all those things, even for projects related work. So she has given me a lot of confidence, and I'm very grateful to be her student actually. And at this point I also would like to say that I actually wish her very good health after retirement. And as always, she says that you should always give 200% and not 100%. So those things actually helps you to actually take your study as well as your work life forward. And also besides academics, she has been a great inspiration person for me. And even having all those achievements, being down to earth, and not for only for me, but for other students also. So I actually wish her very well for her health and have a great life.
I mean, bottom line is you have to be passionate, in what you're doing. And as I said, as Navneesh was saying, give your 200%, because that's really what I say. There is no compromise. I have been very fortunate to have highly motivated, pleasant, and a productive set of PhD students all through. All 5 fingers, you will agree, are not the same, but each one of them had their own strengths and were just lovely as individuals, which contributed to the health of the lab. While the broad research theme in the lab remained discovery, functional genomics, some bit of translation, the technology changed over the decades, but each of the students were able to pick and run with those and make significant contemporarily relevant contributions, which is what the lab, I think, can claim as an achievement or sustenance in science. I'll be literally failing in my, sharing my thoughts. It would be very unfair if I don't add the most important part. That is, whilst PhD students came and went, my scientific and technical staff, especially Prachi, Anjali and Vinod, remained my lifeline through a large and important part of my entire research journey.